Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Vinyl Talk with Tavis. I'm Tavis. Today's subject matter is all about surprising thrift store finds. But first, let's meet some guests. Yes, I have guests. Echo, say hello.
Hello.
Echo, how are you doing today?
I'm quite cheerful, probably because I've been thinking about my favorite animal.
Well, I've been thinking about music. We have another guest. This is Alexa. Alexa, how are you doing today?
You caught me in the middle of doing the hokey pokey, so I'm all turned around.
Okay. We're going to have a little fun today. I went to the thrift store today and was not expecting what I found. I have never been to a thrift store. Never. Now, I'm not talking about a record store. I'm talking about a thrift store where you find things like this. I actually found this for $3. Or, do you see that price? $3.99 for an iron this good. Things like that. I don't usually find a lot of rhythm and blues, R&B, soul music at a thrift store. However, today was totally different. I was shocked. Found some great things. I'll start with this. Do you all remember this lovely lady? Bonnie Pointer. Bonnie Pointer was, or she is, the sister of the Pointer Sisters, and she was in that group for a while. Then she went solo. This is her album from, I believe it's from 1980. Let's Echo. Who is Bonnie Pointer?
Patricia Eva Bonnie Pointer is an American singer, most notable for being a member of the Grammy Award-winning vocal group, the Pointer Sisters. Pointer scored several moderate solo hits after leaving the Pointers in 1977, including a disco cover of the Elgin's Heaven Must Have Sent You, which became a U.S. Top 20 pop hit on September 1st, 1979.
Well, this album came out in 1980. And I thought that the song that Echo was talking about was on this album, Heaven. I got it all mixed up. This album has the song I Can't Help Myself. I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else by the Four Tops. In fact, I believe every song on this album is a cover, and she just grooved it up with the 80s feel. Don't you just love that cover? She is something else. And she's still touring, I believe. So this is a great album, 1980. It's just covers, such as I Can't Help Myself, Jimmy Mack, When the Love Light Starts Shining Through His Eyes. That was from the Supremes, their early hit. Deep Inside My Soul, Come See About Me, Nowhere to Run, Nowhere to Hide. So this is a great disco album. I don't think it's her best work. I think what Echo was talking about is the album I'm really wanting. The next album I got was Slave. The Concept. Now, you all, I'm not very familiar with Slave. However, I will be becoming familiar with them because I was just shocked to have found this all together today at the thrift store. This album came out in 1978. Man, I just love those albums from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s too, you know. Great album. I look forward to hearing it on my record player right in front of me. I listened to it on YouTube. I'm like, this is cool. I never was a fan of Slave. I never was someone who got into Slave, you know. Alexa, who is Slave, the music group?
Slave was an American Ohio-based funk band popular in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Trumpeter and multi-musician Steve Washington, born in New Jersey, attended East Orange High School, and was one of the first users of the electric trumpet. He and trombonist Floyd Miller formed the group in Dayton, Ohio in 1975.
Wow, the first electric trumpet. I didn't know that until just now. We're learning together. Children, welcome to class. You all. Okay. This is just like a staple in everyone's vinyl collection. I've never owned it. I was so shocked to have found this today. 99 cents, all these records. 99 cents. What got me and is that when I opened up the gatefold, I could barely open it because it's like it hadn't been opened. It's like I could hear it go. And then the album itself, it is in, I'd say, near mint condition. Like it never been played. 99 cents. Echo, who is Carole King?
Carole King is an American singer-songwriter who has been active since 1958, initially as one of the staff songwriters at the Brill Building and later as a solo artist. She is the most successful female songwriter of the latter half of the 20th century in the U.S., having written or co-written 118 pop hits on the Billboard Hot 100 between 1955 and 1999.
Wow.
Other customers have also asked, how old is Carole King? Would you like to know the answer?
No, I don't. Thank you for sharing what you did. I tell you, these little devices, they starting to have minds of their own. We don't want to hear a woman's age at this time. Tapestry. Classic record. Look at that cat. I think I want to get a cat. I've been thinking about it. And why am I whispering? Anyway. Next. Oh, kiddos. Luther Van... You know what I hate? I hate this. Excuse me. I don't like this stuff. Get away. Luther Vandross. This album came out in 1983. Oh, wow. Luther. Busybody. The song on here. Superstar. Long ago and oh so far away. Ooh-wee. That man, Luther Vandross, could surely sing. Luther was the bomb. Alexa, what was Luther Vandross's first #1 hit?
Luther Vandross has never had a #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100.
Well, Alexa, did Luther Vandross have any popular music?
Playing songs by Luther Vandross from Spotify.
Well. Hey. Alexa, stop. I don't want to get YouTube tagged. I don't want to get messed up. Great album, Busybody. Great back cover. And remember his last song, Dance With My Father? That was on his last CD before he had a stroke, I believe, and couldn't sing anymore, you know, and that was really, really devastating. Now we have another fantastic singer. Her name is Angela Bofield. Not too familiar with her. Popular, this album came out in 1978. It features the song that's really popular, This Time I'll Be Sweeter. That song was also done by Isaac Hayes. And I really like his version of it. You know, he has these background singers that have that gospel feel, and it's just a long song. It's one of those songs where at the beginning he's just rapping like, yo, baby, why do we break up? And he's just talking about getting back together because this time he'll be sweeter. But this, her version, of course, is much different. Really cool music. And Angela Bofield also had a couple of strokes in her lifetime. She's still alive, but she's not singing anymore because it affected her voice immensely. So this is what we have. I think she's, hold on. Alexa, who is Angela Bofield?
Angela Tomasa Bofield is an American R&B singer-songwriter.
Hey, I'm going to just insert my favorite song by Angela Bofield right now. Here it is. Great artist, great music from the 70s, you know, that disco sound, of course. I was so surprised. Just utterly, oh my God, all this soul music. I was like, what's going on here? I was like on the ground, like I was praying to God because I had to get on my knees to get to the records, you know. And I was like digging and found all this music from R&B artists, all this black music. Then I found Lakeside, Untouchables. I mean, look at that album cover. Is that not classic? This came out in 1981. I'm sorry, 1983. Just absolute classic R&B, soul, funk music. Look at this gatefold, y'all. Look at this gatefold. This is when they had bands back in the day when there were like 20 people in the group. You had Earth, Wind, and Fire. You had Parliament. You had Funkadelic. You had Rolls Royce. You had Lakeside. You had One Way, sorry. You had, remember the Silvers? I mean, you had people, it was like 10 to 15 people in a group. They had trumpets. Oh, man. Great album. Great. And the albums are in great condition, too. I mean, I'm not talking about something that's like G. It's like VG plus. How many pluses can you put on VG? VG plus. Not mint. Probably near mint to some of them. I want to end this video with some goodness, as always. You know, I like good stuff, don't you? I want to talk to you about scat music, scatting. When I was, when I first got out of college, I didn't have a place to stay. And so one of my very dear friends who has recently passed away, I'm just now to the point where I can talk about it. She was a dear college friend of mine, and we spent a lot of great time together. She asked her mother and father if I could stay with her while I was working on my first job. And they were pretty well-to-do people, and they allowed me to do that. And so we went from college to her home, and I stayed in one of their guest rooms. And I went to work every day and stayed in their house until I got an apartment. Her mother, who is still alive, the father's passed away, but her mother would always give me some advice on how to do things. And I was coming from the country to a city. And so she was pretty knowledgeable on certain things, really on a lot of things. And she became like my second mother. And she told me, Tavis, the first thing that you need to do, or one of the first things you need to do, is get a library card here in this city. We have great libraries throughout the city. And I took it and put that information in my pocket, you know, and went on about my business. So when I finally got an apartment a few months later and moved out and got on my own completely, I went to this library that she was talking about and got a library card. And I went to a room that was kind of off from the books. And there were all of these CDs. And the only thing that I checked out in the library during my days in college were books, of course, and albums. Back then in the early 90s, and probably, I'm sure even before then, you could check out records. And so I'd never seen CDs in a library before. So I go in this room and I see all the CDs. and I see rock and roll, and I see jazz, and I see pop, and I see R&B, and I see soul, and I see classical music, and all the genres you can think about. They're all categorized. My first time seeing something like this in the library. So I go to the jazz section because I had been studying jazz in college. And I see Ella Fitzgerald. And I'm like, of course I know Ella. We sang some of her music in college, and we tried to sound like her style. We did a little scatting in college. But I saw all of the CDs that were by her that I was unfamiliar with. And the first CD that I checked out was this. Lady Time. And I wasn't familiar with this record. Now, I don't think she does a lot of scatting on here, but this was the first record the first CD that I checked out from this library and fell madly in love with Ella Fitzgerald. Madly in love, you know? And it's just her and an organ player and a drummer. And the Jackie Davis is the organist, and Louis Belson is the drummer. And I think I've spoken about this in a previous video, but I really wanted to drive this home today because she changed my life vocally when I was about 26, 27, something like that. Maybe 26. Because when I got this CD, it was a life changer, and my vocal abilities changed my life. And I began to scat for the rest of my performances, and people really enjoyed that. Here's a clip of me. I hope you enjoy it. It's a clip of me singing in Russia, a very big production, and it's me doing a scat solo. And I had a blast with the band and the audience. Hope you enjoy. You gotta get a little softer. You gotta get softer. Y'all ready to go home? Oh, just a little while longer. Here we go. Listen. Well, all right. Okay. You win. I'm in love with you. All right. Okay. All right. Yes. Tell me what you can do. Anything you say, I will do. As long as it's me and you. All right. Okay. You win. Baby, what can I do? All right, okay. You win. Baby, what can I do?
Anything you ask me to, as long as me and you.
Anything you ask me to, as long as me and you. Well, all right. Hey! Спасибо. Woo! Man, I gave it my all that night. I remember so vividly that night. I had a blast. So that's what I like to do. That's what I've been doing for so long. Now I'm here talking to you about the lady that changed my life vocally and all the music I found at a thrift store today. Was not even expecting it. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you've enjoyed what you've heard. Maybe you've learned something. Maybe you've just been entertained. I just hope you had a great time. Alexa, I love you.
I'm flattered. Thank you.
Echo, I love you too.
That's really sweet.
Well, remember, with music, be inspired and stay inspired.